Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget Extra. We are making a lap book. I have got some papers and things ready to proceed with another set of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to our right hand side. And we've got our pocket here and a pocket here. We have this envelope here. And so these are all ready except for tags and maybe some stamping and some decorating. I wanted to show you that I just have this journaling card that I put in here, or it can also be used. You can mount a photo here and mount photos on the back, or you can journal on the back. I think this is light enough to write on, so I thought I would leave it this way. If you want to write on it, you can, but if you want to put a picture on there, it would look nicer with just this on the back instead of like tea-dyed paper for this one. So I'm going to round the corners of this too, and that will make it slide in and out easier. So, but I just cut that to the size of this, and I'm going to have to remember to put a little a pull on here, and maybe I'll even punch a half circle, but I don't think so. I think I'm just going to put a pull and leave that just like it is. So then what I've got prepared for this side now, starting here, I glued down this is just a plain old piece of scrapbooking paper, and we've got our little flip here. So I cut a piece of paper, cardstock, file folder actually, exactly the size of this, and then cut a 1/2 inch window out of it and put in a piece of acetate. And this is going to go here. I chose some backing paper for it here, which is where I chose my colors for my stenciling. I used the pink and the green, that's crushed olive and worn lipstick. Because we've got the crushed olive over here, and then we're going to do pinks starting a little bit over here. So I thought that that would look good all together. And so I'm just going to cut this paper here and here to fit underneath here. It's going to cover this here. And then the little bit that I have left is going to be a long tuck spot on this side. And I'm going to stencil this side also. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut that. And I did cut the window and glue the acetate on beforehand because I wanted the glue to be dry, because I am going to emboss this. And it looks, I didn't emboss it ahead of time because I wanted you to see what it looks like without the embossing. It looks really pretty still. I just like the embossing, and because I have an embossing folder, I can do that. But if you don't have one, it's definitely not necessary. Always work with what you have. And besides, you want it to be your own anyway, so it doesn't have to be exactly like what we're doing here. This is just for ideas. And I'm just holding this right up to my paper and just cutting it instead of measuring, because that's just kind of the way I like to do it, because I don't care to measure. And so, okay, I've got that cut, and I'm going to now attach this right down here with some Fabri-Tac, just because it grabs nice and quickly. But you can use anything that you want to use. Tacky glue works really well for really pretty much all of this. The Fabri-Tac is more, and I say this all the time, but just in case you're only just watching this one, the Fabri-Tac is more to, it dries and catches really, really fast. So when you're doing a video and you don't want people to have to wait, the Fabri-Tac is a good way to do it. But if you're just doing it yourself, you don't really have to wait that long for the tacky glue to dry. So now we've got that there. And we are going to have this pocket here, which is going to open up. It's going to be open on this side. We'll glue it on these 3 sides after I emboss it. And then we're going to stencil this back side, and then put our extra piece that we just cut off the other side right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my stencil and my distress stains. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper. So that I don't get it all over anything else. Just put that in there like that. Then I'm just going to kind of decide how I want this. And so I'm going to line the larger flowers up along the top and along this edge. And this stencil is by Jot from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start with the pink and then go in with the green. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want it. I'm just kind of leaving spots where I'll go in and put the green before I move the stencil. I want to be careful over here because I didn't put a paper over there, but it won't hurt if we get a little stenciling on there. Just kind of draw one page into the other. It's very light here. That's where the tape is, and that's not going to make any difference because we're going to put that belly band on there, or the tuck band. So, but I still always just like to stencil it anyways. I don't even have to stencil down there because we're going to put the tuck on there. And then we'll just go back in with the green. Now the green, I have to be careful. I keep pushing hard, and the green is very juicy, very dark. So I don't really want it to, but I need to make sure that I actually get through my stencil. I don't want it to be too dark, but it's going to be as dark as it's going to be. It's the color that I chose, and it is the color that I think is the right color for this. And I just came down onto here. I should have been more paying attention there. I'm going to kind of look and see how it looks. That looks good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the stencil so that my pattern repeats, and if I go up there I'm not going to mess it up any. I come down in here where I accidentally made that mistake and cover that with green right away. And then we'll get our pink on here. We've almost got it. And there we go. And I think that looks really nice. And I think it looks good with this. And it will be broken up a little bit by our little band that we're going to attach here. Oh, here it is. I was going to say, but I lost it. It needs just a smidgen cut off of it. Shut my book for a second because it's in the way. There we go. And I'm just going to attach it both sides and just barely a little bit across the bottom. Because especially on the bottom, since this is only about 1 inch wide, we don't want it to, we don't want the glue to squish up too far, then we won't be able to tuck anything into it. There we go. I'm going to slide this back under here and start at the top. Make sure that I've got it the right way. Had too much glue right there. Let's get it lined up. Bring this down here and press this to the outside. There. Now while I'm embossing the other side, that can dry. And now that's a spot where we can tuck in some little journaling cards. And so we've got that good. And I am going to go over to my embossing in my machine, and I'm going to emboss this really quick with some dots on it, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and I have just embossed some little dots on there, and I like the way that that looks. But like I said, you don't have to do that. And I'm just now going to attach it just on 3 sides, making sure that I leave the portion towards the center of the journal open, because you don't want to have to take them out towards a spine. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second, because that was probably clear as mud. Okay, so now this side here is no glue. I'm just going to line that up and put it on there. I've got it at the top, here and here. So if you had journaling cards in here, if they stuck out at all and they were here towards the spine, when you opened it, it would ruin those cards. They would have to be kind of inside. And then you'd have to try and be pulling it out against things that are here at the spine. That's why you want to make sure that it opens up here towards the middle, because then whatever sticks out, we can just pull it out this way. There's plenty of room for them to hang out here, because this is only a half pocket. And so that's why we made this side the side that has the opening, which is right there. I'm going to let that dry a little bit while we figure out a couple of tags to put in there. Now, this is the piece that was left over when I cut this backing piece and this piece here. And so it's just, I'm going to cut off the top of the paper pad there, and let's see which side is up. To me, I don't know, maybe the butterfly's flying down. It looks like the flowers are going this way and the butterfly's coming this way, so it really doesn't matter. But I want to see, if I were to make that into a tag, how far it's going to stick out. And I don't mind that. I kind of like that. It's sticking out about a ½ inch. If we don't like it, we can always cut off more, but we can't add anything back to it. So let's cut it off. Cut off that extra piece from the top of the paper pad. And see how this looks. I really should be letting that glue dry a little bit better, but it's going to go into about there. Oh, I like that because the butterfly pretty much sticks out. And there's plenty of room over here, so it's not interfering with anything. So I like that height for the tag. And then I'm going to put some tea-dyed paper on the back, because we do want it to be something that you can write on. So I'm just gonna put it on, not that, put it on with a stick glue. That works good for, stick glue works really good when you're making tags, because it's nice and flat. It doesn't get bubbly or bumpy like some other glues can. Just want to make sure I get it on there really good. And if I line it up pretty well, then I only have to cut 2 sides. That out of my way. Let's give it a good press. Flip it over. And there we go. Yeah, that's going to be a cute tag. I like that. And then I looked in my excuse me. Get rid of this cough one of these days. Okay, so I looked through my scraps, because whenever I'm making a book, I keep all of my extra pieces, and I pull out anything I think I might use, but I keep all of my extra pieces together in a file folder. These are just the different things that we've used so far. And that way, as I'm going through and I need something, it will coordinate. So I'm going to round the corners of this. Whenever you're using I don't know why I'm punching it way over there, so I could just leave the garbage on the table. Whenever you're using a corner punch and you punch it, if the little extra piece of paper stays in that little spot, make sure that you dump it out, because otherwise, when you go to put this in here, you wouldn't think that it would make a difference, but it will mess with this corner. Like, see, that one didn't come out. So if I were to put another piece of paper in there, that would kind of get in the way, and it would make me not get as nice of a corner. So just make sure that you do that. And I think I'll put pink on this one. I really am having a hard time believing how much pink I put in this book. But once I start with a few colors, I really kind of have to stick to them. Okay, so this one's going to go right here. And when I looked through my scraps, I found this piece that we cut off, and I think that this would look really nice as a tag on each side. The writing goes this way, so I'm going to cut it in half like this, and I'm going to cut it to this. Should I cut it the same height, or should I cut them a little taller or a little shorter? I wonder if it was just a little taller on each side. Let's cut it a little bit taller than this. This one is, okay, that one is about 3.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this one 3 3/4. If we don't like it, we can always cut it shorter. And this piece of paper is 5.5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut it 2 3/4, just so that it's just cut it right in half. And so this is what we have. Okay, so let's see what it looks like if we put this in here. And these will stretch out and fit things better, but I just don't want to be pulling on it too much with the glue still being so fresh. And then put this one in. Let's say put it in behind. And then put this one in behind. I think I like it. I wish you guys could say if you like it or not. So I am going to round the corners on this. Make sure that I dump that corner out of there. And this one, the back is so light that I'm not going to put the tea-dyed paper on the back of these. And then if you have a little picture or something that you want to put on there, you know, you can put it on there and it has a nice backing. A little bit of extra interest. My husband finds these little corners all over the floor because he does the vacuuming. So I'm sure he just loves it. I try not to get them on the floor. Alrighty, and then a little bit of pink edging. And we can put these in there. See how it really looks. I tested that before I cut my corners because these are large corners. If I had not liked it and I wanted to cut it down a little bit, but I had already cut my corners, I would have had to cut all the way down to here on both sides to get rid of that large corner. Or I could have done it on just one side, cut it down to here, and then repunched the same size corner up here. But you can't cut in the middle of the corner and then repunch it with your corner rounder very easily and make it look the same. And that's why when I tested it to see if I liked the height, I did it before I punched the corners, because I didn't want to have to make it too short. And I don't know if I have another piece like this or not. Like I said, this was a scrap piece from something we had cut out, so. And there we go. Let's see. This is up. And I like that that's on that side, so that's why I'm going to put that one on the top. And I'm going to kind of just pull these right out to the edge of this. They'll go down a little bit further later when the glue's not possibly wet. And put this one in here. And there we go. So there is our acetate pocket. That's our little half page. On this side we have a tuck spot. Too bad I didn't have any more of that left. I could have done another little tuck tag right in here. But this one will take a nice, I'm going to make a long tag like this one, but I do want it to have a little more interest than just being this. But this stenciled would also just make a perfect tag. Just make it so it actually fits. That would make a perfect tag to fit right in there. As a matter of fact, maybe a little bit of collaging on that. Leave it like it is, round the corners. And that might look really cute. I think this is the piece. Yeah, that was the piece that I cut out of here. I just cut the bottom off it because it was too long. So you can do that. You can take whatever piece you cut out of here, especially if you do decorative paper with this. The piece that you cut out, you can use it as a tag for the back side. And I think I'm going to leave that there because I might collage on that, do a little bit more stenciling. So there we go. I think we're going to call that good for today, and then we'll go on to the next side when I come back next time. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.